The following presentation is a teaching by Avraham Emuna. In this video, I'm going to be teaching on how Daniel chapter 7 and the vision of the Son of Man is a clear depiction of the nation of Israel, as the vision is interpreted for Daniel by an angel of God. The book of Daniel is rich with symbolic visions that have sparked discussions across religious traditions. Among the most stunning is the vision in Daniel chapter 7, where 4 beasts rise from the sea, followed by the appearance of a Son of Man coming on the clouds of heaven. From my perspective, this chapter is understood as a profound allegory for the rise and fall of Gentile kingdoms and the ultimate establishment of the nation of Israel as a holy eternal kingdom. I will explain the vision in light of the chapter's own interpretation of itself given by the angel. Daniel's visions begin with 4 great beasts emerging from the chaotic sea. These beasts are identified as representations of successive Gentile empires. Vision 1 is the lion with eagle's wings, commonly associated with Babylon, symbolizing its might and swiftness. Vision 2 is the bear, representing the Medo-Persian Empire, noted for its voracious appetite for conquest. Vision 3 is the leopard with 4 wings and 4 heads, symbolizing the Greek Empire, particularly under Alexander the Great, with its rapid expansion and division into 4 parts. Vision 4 is the 4th beast, a terrifying and indescribable creature, often linked to the Roman Empire, characterized by its iron teeth and overwhelming destructive power. The 5th vision is the man coming with clouds. I'll quote directly from Daniel 7 verses 13 and 14, which says, "I saw in the visions of the night, and behold, with the clouds of the heaven, one like a man was coming, and he came up to the Ancient of Days, and was brought before him. And he gave him dominion and glory and a kingdom, and all peoples, nations, and tongues shall serve him. His dominion is an eternal dominion, which will not be removed, and his kingdom is one which will not be destroyed." We see that all 5 of these visions are symbolic visions and are not to be taken literally. There are no literal ferocious beasts coming out of the sea, and there is no literal man coming with the clouds of heaven. This is all symbolism. The 4 beasts represent Gentile nations, and the man represents the Jewish nation of Israel. In Jewish thought, Gentile nations are frequently symbolized by animals, particularly unclean beasts, to underscore their detachment from the covenantal relationship with God. The chaotic sea from which these beasts arise further emphasizes their origin in disorder and their opposition to divine order. The sea represents the Gentile nations of the world. In stark contrast to the beasts, a figure described as the Son of Man appears, coming on the clouds of heaven. Unlike the beasts, which are animalistic and chaotic, this figure is human, symbolizing a being created in the image of God. It is here we begin to see the Son of Man represents the nation of Israel, distinct from the Gentile kingdoms in its divine calling and moral purpose. The scripture itself plainly teaches this. As I will soon show, the angel of God interprets the vision for Daniel and describes the Son of Man precisely as the holy nation of Israel. Israel, as the holy nation, is called to embody justice, holiness, and a covenantal relationship with God, unlike the Gentile nations characterized by beastly domination and power. The human form of the Son of Man highlights this distinction, emphasizing Israel's role as a reflection of divine attributes in the world. I will now address the angel's own interpretation of who the Son of Man in Daniel's vision represents. Daniel's vision is interpreted by an angel who provides critical insights into the symbolism. The angel explains that the beasts represent kingdoms ruled by Gentile powers. However, the Son of Man is explicitly identified in the interpretation as the holy ones of the Most High, in Daniel 7 verse 18. Notably, this is a plural term indicating that the Son of Man is not an individual but a collective, the nation of Israel. Just as the beasts in the vision were a singular beast, but representing the plural people of a Gentile nation, so too the singular Son of Man figure represents a plural people, the holy nation Israel. The angel further elaborates in Daniel 7 verse 27 about the Son of Man figures, meaning by stating the following: "And the kingdom and the dominion and the greatness of the kingdoms under all the heavens will be given to the people of the high holy ones. Its kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, and all dominions will serve and obey it." We see that this interpretation affirms that the Son of Man represents the collective destiny of Israel. Unlike the Gentile kingdoms which rise and fall, Israel's kingdom is eternal, rooted in its covenant with God. The exact same language from Daniel verses 13 and 14 describing the Son of Man being an everlasting kingdom and having dominion is used here. The Son of Man and the nation described here are one and the same. Now let's look at a couple more details of the vision itself again. The imagery of the Son of Man coming on the clouds of heaven is rich with symbolism. In the Hebrew Bible, clouds often signify divine presence and favor, such as when God leads Israel in the wilderness with a pillar of cloud, Exodus 13:21. The Son of Man coming on the clouds signifies Israel's exaltation and restoration under God's divine authority. Also, the vision concludes with the transfer of dominion from the Gentile kingdoms to the holy ones of Israel. This reflects the Jewish hope for a Messianic era in which Israel, as a righteous nation, fulfills its role as a light to the nations, Isaiah 42:6. All the Gentile beasts' temporary dominion is ultimately replaced by the eternal kingdom of Israel, where justice and holiness prevail forever. In conclusion, Daniel chapter 7, from my exegesis of these scriptures using the angel's own interpretation given to Daniel, we see a vivid allegory contrasting the Gentile nations with the nation of Israel. The beasts symbolize unclean Gentile empires driven by brute force and chaos, while the Son of Man represents the holy nation of Israel, created in the image of God and destined for eternal dominion. The angel's interpretation underscores this understanding, emphasizing Israel's collective identity as the holy ones of the Most High. Ultimately, the vision reassures the Jewish people of their divine purpose and the eventual triumph of their covenantal destiny. The idea that the Son of Man character in Daniel 7 is a literal individual man has no warrant when examining the angel's explanation of the vision. No more than the beasts in the same vision are literal, physical, monstrous beasts coming up out of the sea. And furthermore, the idea that this Son of Man character in the vision is a literal individual rabbi from Nazareth named Jesus has absolutely no warrant at all when looking at the context of the chapter and letting the angel provide its meaning. We would all do well to heed the scriptures when the scriptures themselves give the exact meaning and interpretation of a prophetic vision rather than relying on our own imagination. Daniel 7 is one such example of the scripture explaining in detail a prophetic vision and giving its meaning. In the same vein as this teaching, where an angel gives the exact interpretation of a prophetic vision, in an upcoming video I will be looking at Daniel chapter 9, where it expounds on a vision with a prophetic 70 weeks timeline and the cutting off of an anointed one. Thank you for watching. This has been a presentation of Avraham Emuna. The views expressed here are mine alone and are not meant to be an authoritative representation of any one religious tradition.